Let us understand in details how do we sketch a transform function, relating each transformation with the diagram and the image points. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this test practice session, we have a very important question, and that is sketching a transform function. The question here is, for f of x equals to square root of x, sketch the graph of f of minus 2x plus 6 plus 1. Show each transformation. So that's kind of critical. Show each transformation. Right. So I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. So we are given the function which is f of minus 2x plus 6 plus 1. Perfect. First thing which you should do is factor out this minus 2. So that could be a mistake at times. So let's rewrite. So I prefer to write a square bracket here. Factoring minus 2 gives me x minus 3, right? So why did I get minus 3? Dividing 6 by minus 2 is minus 3. So now you have a very familiar transform function which will help you sketch the graph. Now since we have to show each transformation, it's a good idea to write down what are the transformations, right? So let's list the transformations to show. So number 1, which I'm going to write, is this minus 2, which means reflect on what? It is reflect on the y-axis, not the x-axis. It is inside the function, right? So that is the first transformation. Now as you can see, all the transformations are with reference to the function which is square root of x. So that means you have to understand what is the square root of x function and what are the critical points to consider. So always when we look into these functions, we have to see the critical points, right? So let me sketch this function so that we could go with respect to that. So square root of x, critical points are what, right? Let me write down those points. 0, 0, it starts with, correct? 1 square root is 1 and square root of 4 is 2, right? So we'll work with these 3 points for now. So we have 0, 0, right? And at 1 we have 1. At 4 we have 2. We could also go for 9. Okay, so let's extend this to 9, 3. Square root of 9 is 3. Correct, no problem. So 5, 6, 7. So we'll just go to 9. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost the end, right? So we have this function. Okay. So this is square root of x. Is that clear to you? Now when we say reflect on the y-axis, it means all these points will flip on this side. You get the idea, right? So at minus 1 we are going to get 1, and at minus 4 we are going to get 2, and at minus 9 we are going to get 3. So we are reflecting all these points. So that is, so our graph will now be, let me redraw. Is that clear to you? Not a good graph. So let me go like this. Correct. So that becomes the reflection on the y-axis. Now let's get inside and look into this second part, which is 2. So the value of 2, reflection is done, and value 2 is horizontal stretch. Is it stretch or compression? Inside, it is reversing, right? It is horizontal compression by half. By a factor of, right? 1 over 2. That really means that all these points will be compressed half the distance, right? So we move them. So like this, do you see that? 9 comes to 4.5. So this point comes to 4.5. And so we have the function. 0 remains there itself, right? So that becomes the graph of the function. So let me rewrite. So first one which we did was minus of square root minus inside. You get the idea? And the second one now is square root of minus 2x. Correct. So we have horizontally compressed, bringing all the x values to half the points, right? Now the third one is, let's change the ink now. Okay. So the third one here is translation. 3 units right. 3 units right. We can actually do both the translations together, 1 up and 3 right. But let's do 3 right first. So all these points are getting to 3 units right. So that means this gets here right. The point which was at half also gets 3 units right. Move. The point at 2 goes to 1 right. And at 4.5 goes to minus 4.5 it was, minus 1.5. Correct. So we have a graph which will now be like this. You get the idea. So it is starting from minus 3 now. And the last graph which we are going to draw is taking care of 1 up, right? So translate 1 unit up. So we translate 1 unit up, all these points go up now by 1 unit. And therefore, we have our final graph, which is kind of like this. You get the idea. So this coordinate point here is at 3, 1. Right? This is not minus, this is plus only. We just moved it 3 units to the right. So that is your final answer. Do you see that? Perfect. So that is how you're going to show all these steps. And this is your final function, which is square root of minus 2x plus 6 plus 1, correct? Which could also be written in this fashion. Are these steps clear to you? Now, as far as the coordinate points are concerned, we can do the math for the points also. So let me do it on a fresh page. So let's revise what we did. We wrote this particular function as factoring out minus 2. We got this as x minus 3 plus 1. Now that means that the coordinate points x, y on square root of x now move to which place? The x values got multiplied by minus half. So minus half of x and then translated 3 units right. The y values, we added 1 to them. Perfect. So we began with x values which were 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. So when we want to find the coordinate points, transform coordinate points, when you add 0, it becomes 3 and 1, right? So then we got our first point, which was at 3, 1. Now, to 1, if I do minus half times 1 becomes minus half, and then we have to add 3 to it, the x value. So this point was now at 2.5, right? So 2.5, let me write. The y value becomes 2. So at 2.5, y becomes 2. Then 4. Half of 4 is minus 2. Minus 2 plus 3 is 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So at 1, we have a point which is 3. Is that clear? 9. Minus 4.5 plus 3 is minus 1.5. And 3 plus 1 is 4. So at minus 1.5, we had 4. Is that clear to you? Joining these points, we actually got our final graph. As you can very clearly see, it starts at 3, 1, correct? And that is how it is going to be drawn. So that is the accurate graph. Now you can compare, right? So these were the steps. In steps, we have shown each and every transformation. We also worked out the details of the points for accuracy, and they match with what we had actually got. So I hope you understand clearly how do we sketch, right? And also check our answer. So that is how we do it. Well, in case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. Thanks for your valuable time and all the best.